successfully. Managed to get out. Bit of a heavy pack on today. You know me, blades. And out my closest personal zone. Because what I'm trying to do is do the British Army Survival Knife. Which is basically sort of introduction and a bit of a review. And I managed to time it, quite luckily, with borrowing the Saxon blade that was a collaboration between FPS Bloke, Joe, and Fishwolf knives. So I've got a custom 01 tool steel blade with my Carter scales, and I'm going to compare it with obviously the British Army Survival Knife, which is a tough one with, I think it's epoxy impregnated scales, and up against the cheapest chips web text thing with the lousy DPM out sheath. Just mooching through this shaded area. It absolutely tipped down like 4 hours ago, so it's pretty wet. But I'll see you in a bit. I get on my zone, get set up, and get cutting, chopping, and splitting. See you in a bit. So, here's the mentality of people that use this area most of the time. They're pretty good. But you do get the odd fool. They've actually brought a pallet down, set fire to it with their cans, Coke can, rubbish bag, drink. If that white bag is serviceable, I should be able to grab a load of this on the way out. Probably a pair of pants or something burnt. Trophy. Yeah, see you in a bit. Okay, right, welcome back. What I thought I'd do is, while we're carrying all the weight of knives out, and everybody knows that knives weigh my stuff about a pound a shot. So I've got Berzerker 1 and 2, or 1 and 2, whichever's numbered right. That's number 1, that's number 2. So this is the Rob Andrews fork, the convex edge. Should be able to see the light rolling up and down. So Burr's head handles. Brother there, I think for his brother. And let's get chopping. I won't use a glove on a chopping hand, so any shortcomings on scale comfort will show up. And we'll just get through the knives as fast as we can. I'll do, I don't know, 30-40 strikes with each one. I'll try and be as consistent as I can. So, Berzerker 1. You better see me in camera. Right, and so I'm using the rearward hole, so that's what I'm doing. Hold on to the bird's head. Here we go again. It's a dog. Very cool dog. You're gonna get filthy. Off you go. Oh, we get. Off you go then. Come on. Max the dog. Special guest star. Okay, so the thing. Of course, I'll turn the flippy screen around now, mate. Right there. Lots of edge for that. That's cool. The thing. Yeah, that's my stuff. So I'll start with the web tags. Okay, this is gently brazed or welded on guard, wood handle, and 3 of those rivets blasted in. The usual lack of marrying up of scales to stock, so it's all a bit rough and ready. Even a gap in there somewhere, but about 30 quid. Very flat grind, so you ain't biting like my convex is. Bad enough. Okay, but for me, not enough to hang on to there, so I've really got the grip on hard. Trying to survival knife now, and I think this handle is like sea impregnated or something, because it does smell like glue when you sand it back. Just keep me in shot. Yeah, there we go. He's nice. Much more easy to use. Webtex might be because it's heavier. Don't know. He bites deeper. probably better steel. If we can pick up the J. Abrams on it. Stamp mark. There it is. Preferred using that. One thing, of course, with this is you've got a left-handed sheath. Got to remember which way round to put it all the time. But it felt more secure in the hand than the Webtex did. Ah. Fishwolf knives, Saxon. So the initial drawing was by FPS bloke, Joe. He wanted that high end on there. It's actually sharpened. My Carter scales with 2 pins. And it's in 01. And I think he does all the powder coating himself. So here we go. Kydex sheath. You can see me there. There we go. Well, he's cutting quite happily at the far end with the more weight, but there's not as much depth as the Army Survival Knife, so I don't think there's quite as much weight in it. So I'm using that section there. So when you compare with the Saxon, there's a hell of a lot more weight and he's thicker, so as a chopper he's not quite going to be there with it, and there's a bigger hook on the back of there, but they did design this in the back, but nice enough to use, but the scales are far easier on your hand than that, and that leaves a lot of work because you've got to blend all that in and chamfer them all off. Straight out of the box, that'll be far easier to use. Let's do some other tasks. See you in a bit. Quiet back. ThegnLore. What the hell? Let's go for it. So, she's down there. Yeah, you still see me. Bad. So, ThegnLore. Alright, I've got to remember this in reverse order now. Back on. British Army. Rucksack. Thing. One. This is why my pack is always so heavy. Okay. So, turn that around so I can see what I'm looking at. Berzerker number 1. Berzerker number 2. thing. Webtex. British Army survival knife. Fishwolf knives, the Saxon in 01 with my Carter scales. And that bite was my little ThegnLore in 01, and oak scales, brass lanyard hole. Cool. And that log was out of the stream about a week ago. Okay, if I can, I'll try and do some chopping tests. I've got my Browning takedown saw. Bend the blade up real tight. Noisy bird over there. I see that split. Right, I don't think I'll bother with the other one. So, what's that? Webtex. Random. There. There you go. Makes quite accurate splits. Oh, pretty good. But then when you have a look at the way this geometry works, it's a slab body, and then just under halfway it comes out of a sort of scanty grind with a terminal edge, so it should split pretty well. Okay. British Army survival knife, which doesn't start as high, so if it doesn't bite as deep, it should split quite well. A random log. Split already on the back. There he goes. A bit better. Pops it apart. Just pops it apart. Gone. Gone already. Wicked splinter. So I'm only doing the odd log here and there, but that was better than the Webtex. Okay. Here's my humble offering. Quite a chunky one. Gone. Yeah, it's gone with a knot in it or something. Yeah, there's first knot. So it's loaded down. And another one there. Feel that. Twisty section. Good long ways. Yeah, without a knot, he's pinging it apart. There you go. Absolutely wicking it. Absolutely splitting it. Got a knot running in that one. Gone. And there's my edge. Nice bit of spring steel there. I've got a special guest appearance now. Fishwolf knives. Saxon in 01. For the last log. And he had a knot at the beginning there. See how he goes. But he should split quite well. You can hear that pinging. Yeah, because that knot there runs down into here somewhere weird. Kill my camera. He's pretty good. Saxon by Fishwolf knives. Not as thick as the Army Survival knife, but because he's got under a half a groin, that thick stock, he should split quite well. And the edge that I've stropped up, he hasn't lost anything. So his heat treats are good. Jimmy Foster. I'll link his site at the bottom for those want a nice bit of 01. Super knife. Okay, welcome back. I've set a tarp up because there's a heavy downpour due in the next half an hour. So any minute now the heavens below. What I've got to do now is just a basic whittling carving activity. The raw material will be my bed, because the stick that those guys threw the other day was so about a third of it's gone. So anyway, let's grab a few of these bits and I'll give myself another bed another time. 01, and I'll walk the camera and put in each one. So I've got a big convex edge. Okay. And then get right up close. Put that bug on me a minute. Okay, and it bites deep, so if I really push it, you get those feathers come up. If you go gentle, it still cuts. obviously do cut the other way to get your notches. Now it's not really a power cut type of blade, these big Berzerker things of mine, because it's too heavy to get a stroke like that. But there you go, it does it, just turn the wood the other way. But it'll chop far better than a bush law or wood law. And you don't cost as much either. Shameless plug. So, you know, it's a variety of holes. Up close, right up close with the thumb, right up against there, look. Means that you can get right there. You can hear that cutting. Now go back the other way, finish it off. Give yourself a nice cut like that. So that's my Berzerkers. At least as good. Just, you know, it chops almost like a hatchet, but it's far more usable than just the head of a tomahawk, because you can still get right up against there like this. It will split pretty well in terms of giving yourself some starting wood. It's just a different beast than the average bushcraft knife. It's a chopper. Pretty heavy, but this will do almost what a hatchet and a basic bushcraft knife will do. So it's one tool, an option. But I don't think because they're fun. Rucksack. So again, put your rucksack in the sheath. Add it in here to make yourself look brilliant. Now this is the flaw for me for these. That guard up there is a pain in the web. That bit of your thumb. Anytime you want to choke up, there's a mark in there. But anyway. Now I have sharpened this, but it's a very crude grind. You need a lot of backward pressure to get it to cut. This really needs to be backed off to about there. So I used it initially, didn't really get on with it, and moved on. I found my barong far more user friendly, because it's just too wedgy for me. And that guard in there, I've had enough. I don't want to use that. That's just, to me, it's a fighting blade. You know, if you use it as a tool, this will do a lot of things reasonably well. And yes, you could use it in a defensive role, and then you'll need that guard, obviously for naughty moves like this. But for whittling, I don't want to use it. That is just too restrictive for me. That's a British Army survival knife. The parkerization, or whatever the coating is a lot better. The handle materials are smoother, but you still need, as I've said on many occasions, you've got to dress all this down because it doesn't marry up very well and you have sharp edges, especially in those rivet areas there. And to use, again, the same thing, but it's slightly higher, so it actually goes above where the web text would get stuck there. This one just gets above it, so it's almost on the joint of your thumb. I think it's better still, because I've worked on this far less than that Webtex, and already he's doing far more. I can hear that cutting quite happily, and I say I've used this at least as often as the Webtex, and I've only had it a few months. Far more effective than the Webtex, and to be honest, probably, you know, in terms of performance, comfort versus price as a correlation, this is the one, this is the option. Give the Webtex on this. Save up and get that rather than that, if that's the style of blade you're after. As I found out on my cost on many occasions, get the real thing. Grinders, etc. The only annoyance, this is a left-handed lever sheath, but I don't ever wear them on my belt, so they always in the belt. Okay, the thing. Straight comfort, hand across the back, hand underneath, sweeps into there lovely, and just devours the wood. You won't get that with that chunky grind of those survival knives, you just won't get it. This is about a one-third convex, one-third convex, and it just bites deep. Totally different animal. Some detail work. Cuts at every point. Look, just like that. I put what I call distal taper on mine. So it gets narrower, 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 narrower towards the end. So I start thinning down from about here. And just taper it right down. And not so good for chopping weight, but he is long anyway. So totally different animal. No guard to get in your way. Really nice smooth handle. And I sculpt mine as well, so it's all contoured. Of course the other two are slabbed. That's my thing. So up close now with the Saxon Kydex sheath with an extra thick section there. It's got seatbelt material for a belt loop, and he's moulded it so that it actually pops apart there on a pinch. Kydex sheath. He's finished it up quite well. It's done really big rivets and a drain hole there. Right. The camera can see me. So again, it's a slab body, Scandi sort of grind. Now I've put a terminal edge and I've stropped it to give more basic, similar amount of time spent on it. So it's actually got a micro convex edge on this. So it's not the standard edge. It wouldn't take Jimmy much work to put a convex edge on it if he wanted it. He's got a grizzly, so he's got a slack belt section. And that really is quite happy to use, quite pleasing. There's no guard to get in the way. And you've got to put your thumb there. You can't put it on the, it's got a sharpened swedge on the end. Yeah. Not quite as easy to use as my thing. But very usable and quite comfy to use. Yeah, far more comfortable to use than the two with the guards on. So there's another option for you. That's a pretty thick 01. You get a Kydex sheep with those. Left-handed or right-handed, so that's again a better option than those army ones which come left-handed only. Microphone one. Okay. My ThegnLore, and I'm already on number 2. Things I got to make, eh? Well, completely different blade than the other ones, lighter, thinner. And any sort of bushcraft blade with this and a decent geometry is going to thrive. It's going to thrive on activities like this. It's just absolutely devouring the wood. Gone. And it'll do that forever and a day. Look. Also, you could use this to twat it through the wood, but it's not really built for that. But for the weight and the room that this thing takes up, the idea is that it's easier to maintain because it isn't a sweep from there up to there. It's straight from there to about there. So if someone's not incredibly proficient with sharpening freehand on stones and strops and all the rest of it, all they got to do is just find something straight and just literally just concentrate on that section there, and you'll be able to work your edge up quite quickly, quite happily, with a minimum amount of expertise. Okay, now I've got 2 more designs coming. I've got the ThegnLore and I've got a new one called a Boudica. It's quite chunky. The other one's the average woodlaw clone looking geometry. I have I've beefed it up in a few areas. I'll probably skeletonise the handle. I don't generally do that, but I think on that one I will, because I've chunked it up a bit to make it full in the hand, and I'll just keep trying to whittle these out alongside my customs, which just take forever. I was getting to the point now where I'm thinking, leaf springs, if I ever get some money together, I'll just 01 the bloody lot, because it's the time grinding the faces off. It just takes forever. So there's my ThegnLore, and that's in 01. Now, tempering wise, I'm guessing I'm about a 57. Okay, I prefer an easier edge rather than a harder edge, because I like my spring steel resilience, and I say we can be quite a cold country, so I don't go to the 59s and the 60s. I like the 57ish, but I can actually do it harder if you want it. I just do less time in the oven on a lower temperature. So anyway, that's all the guys who wanted a review of the British Army Survival Rifle, which is there. If you're considering this or the Webtex, get this. The handle's better. The guard it comes across slightly higher. You get a leather sheath. That pouch one's just lousy. I mean, you could end up moving the retention strap to there. You just stop. Ready, steady. That happening. How? Okay. So it wouldn't take you more than, I don't know, a little bit of leather and a rivet. You can put 2 there. Click, click. But say I use all my knives. I take this out now and again, but I'm not wearing it on my belt. This goes in my pack. swallowers out. I thought I'd give a shout out to my mate Jimmy. And there's one of his that I borrowed from Joe, and that's his Saxon in 01. I don't know what the hardness is of this. I suppose about 58, 59. It's got black micarta scales. Brass lanyard tube, 2 pins, look like steel. I could go into that there, I dare say. But that works. That works to a degree, but no guard in the way for all your tasks. That does plenty. So thanks for joining me again. I hope that's enough info for those interested on the survival knife. Get myself some wheat in a second. Got some blades. Roll again. Let's check. Food pot. To the victor of the spoils. So, grasp that, these kids. That's what they were doing. They had one rucksack with them. So they had themselves a nice little campfire on a pallet. After food pot, plastic torch, batteries, one of the nastiest things to leave in the outdoors.